Trump has two classified documents, pieces to his case. One is you had them, and the second is you obstructed justice when we demanded them back. So, okay, against Biden, you don't get charged with obstruction. But number one, where's the classified documents charged against him? He's also a felon.
You got your story. Look.
Hey, you. Welcome to the show. I'm Andrew McLean, and I just realized I don't have my pen. Give me a moment while I find my pen, because I can't do the show without my pen. Tony Gump is here.
I'm here as well. Hello,
Tony
buddy.
Gump, what's up, buddy?
Just hanging.
So glad we're back in the studio for another episode. Hold on. Don't look in my bag. I actually did, because I keep forgetting my pen. You remember, like, my hands, I get awkward with my hands. So I took this bad boy and I put it in my everywhere backpack.
I'm sure it helps out with anxiety to have the pen ready, you know?
That's right. And we also have John Bird here. That's actually the only clip
we're gonna
of
use that.
John Bird that we have. So he will
we're
be.
gonna use that.
He will be, that'll be the John Bird sound effect. But yes, you look good, John Bird. I like the glasses. These are are these the glasses that Spud left John Bird that he never
they
got?
were one of the pairs, yeah.
It's just ironic that the one stuffed animal we have is a bird. So anytime John Bird's off, we put him there. And we'll check in with him as time goes along, because John Bird needed the week off, so we gave him that. They've been in radio, you get tossed around, and he's been on the morning show and everything else, and it just, I would be an absolute basket case if they were swapping my schedule around, which I guess they kind of have been, but
Yeah, but honestly, he looks like he's just chilling really calmly, you know?
he looks good.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Good
nice
look for him.
So we still, even though Bird's not here, we wanted to put out another show for you guys, because there's a lot of stuff going on. And one thing in particular, Tony, you and I have talked about at length is Bill Maher, because we have friends or people we know. Like, I got a buddy who is a loyal Democrat voter that considers himself a socialist, but highly respects the opinion of Bill Maher.
There's a lot of them like that.
He thinks he's a super smart guy, and I think Bill Maher's an intellectual dude. I just think he's, it's like a broken clock. You know, he's right twice a day, but you shouldn't really get credit for that because you're still a broken clock. But nonetheless, he wrote a new book. I have no idea what this book's about. I don't even know what it's called. But he's been doing a media tour. And some of this we've played on the radio show. But what tipped me off about it, I like watching Greg Gutfeld on Fox News. I think Greg Gutfeld's incredibly funny. I love his style of humor because it's a little bit dark. It's very immature. I mean, it's right up my alley. And I was watching it, I think this was last night, 2 nights ago, and the guest was none other than Bill Maher. And I thought that was crazy because Bill Maher's not really the type of guy that would be a guest on a show, especially a show on Fox News. Like,
that
he is an
actually
enemy.
surprises me, yeah.
He's an enemy of conservatives. He makes that very clear. And but he did it, obviously, because he's got a book he's promoting. And as I watched it, I actually had high expectations for it, but as I watched it, it actually got kind of uncomfortable. And the reason for that is because Greg Gutfeld is on his show, he will take shots at the guests that are there, but it's supposed to be playful, like bros, taking shots back and forth. It became painfully obvious that Bill Maher is not used to that. He's used to the one taking shots.
Oh, yeah, he's the guy in charge when he's on.
He's not used to people or going on somebody else's show and having them take shots at him. I want to watch part of this because this is probably the last time we'll ever see Bill Maher on Fox News. And for Fox News, in all their flaws, I really think they've only got 2 good shows left. I think they've got Jesse Waters, I think is phenomenal, and this one, Greg Gutfeld. It is a travesty, and I think about this on a regular basis, an absolute travesty that Tucker Carlson is no longer on Fox News.
Agreed.
I think it's good for him. I think it's worked where he's able to say the things he wants to say, but and I've discovered this too because I try to watch Tucker's stuff. If you know he's on at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock every single night, you make it a point to watch it. But with Twitter, you have to go out of your way, and you know it's out there. But then you got to remember later on when you got some free time. Anyway, that's a personal issue. Y'all probably deal with that too, but that's just me. Anyway, here's some of Greg Gutfeld with Bill Maher. This is good.
So far, so fun.
I have a few quibs.
Okay, go for it. Quib away, Mr. Quib.
Well, I mean, I agree that it's great that we're talking. I agree that we agree on some things. We're not exactly aligned on the most important things, which is basically Trump is someone who does not concede elections. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You don't seem to see it that way. That's the most important thing that's going on in this country. He didn't concede the last election. He's not going to concede this election.
You don't know that. You don't see into the future, Bill. I don't see your crystal ball.
Yeah, I did, because I was the only one who was talking about that way back when, and everybody said, "Oh, you smoke too much pot." Turned out I smoked just the right amount of pot.
There's no right amount.
So, pause it real quick. So, here's this argument from Bill Maher that we hear from a lot of people. It's that Trump never conceded the election. The argument originally was Trump's not going to leave office. Well, that's been debunked because he did leave office.
Yep.
In the sense of conceding the election, what does that matter? I mean, you're mad because Trump didn't say a word, or 2 words, which is "I concede." Who cares whether or not somebody says they concede? Stupid. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Can you really picture this guy going, "You know what? I lost. That's it."
He did. He left.
He left because he had to leave, because he couldn't.
Yes, but that's how it works.
Well,
what do you think he's going to board up the White House? Pull a straw dogs with Dustin Hoffman?
Well, last time he thought the other Republicans would back him up when he called that guy in Georgia and said, "I need 11,000 votes. I want you to find."
He said find. He didn't say create. He said find.
Well, that's the same thing.
No, it's not. You don't say on an Easter egg hunt, I want you to create some Easter eggs.
We have a show here.
All right, Dr. Drew.
Okay.
Boys. I mean, my favorite show of television ever to do was Politically Incorrect.
Which you stole. This is exactly what it looked like, except the difference was Politically Incorrect was purposely mixing people with different viewpoints.
Which is what we're doing.
Tonight.
Yes. This is why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No.
So, Dr. Drew.
Yes, sir.
You're really good at diagnosing mental illness.
Okay.
What is Bill's problem?
Okay, that's good stuff. It continues on, and it becomes painfully obvious that Bill Maher is uncomfortable. And I'm just like, I get it. Bill Maher's probably not in full control of these different shows he's going on. They'll come to him and they'll say, "Bill, I think it's a good idea if you go on this show and on that show because you're trying to sell a book." But, lighten up. Quit taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He's so full of himself, to me at least. That's the impression I get. But I'm glad they were at least talking about this on Fox. At least they were talking about it.
Well, he is a guy that, again, and I don't. He seems like he's a smart guy. He gets it, but then he says stuff like he talks about he's fallen for the hoax that Trump was asking them in Georgia to come up with 11,000 votes that he didn't actually earn. That's not what he said. It's not what he meant. Yeah. Same thing with conceding. Like, what's the big deal whether or not he says he conceded? When Hillary lost, she spent the next, 4 years, still to this day, talking about how she had that election stolen from her. Oh, but it's different because she actually said she conceded. Who cares what she said? Who cares what any of these people say?
Yeah, and Bill Maher liked Gavin Newsom, and whenever Pat Bet David was on the podcast, I forget his name all the time, but he went on there and he just asked him, what has Gavin Newsom done that actually did anything good? And Bill Maher couldn't name anything. He just said he liked him.
He couldn't say anything. Yeah, so he falls for the hoaxes, but this is where Bill Maher lands because he refuses to go all in with the left, but he's got enough in common with the left as far as his hatred for the right. So when he goes on a show that's the opposite of Gutfeld, like The View, they get bent out of shape because he's not all in on the Democrat way, all in, because he describes himself as an old school liberal, but the people of The View, the yentas of The View, want Bill Maher to give a full-throated endorsement of the Democrat Party and Joe Biden no matter what. This is the way so many people see it. They're like, I don't understand. If you hate Trump, you have to endorse Joe Biden. And people like Bill Maher are like, not necessarily.
These people have like Trump derangement syndrome, like stage 5, whatever that is.
Terminal is what it is.
Yeah.
I get it in the sense of you're looking at it. These women on The View are looking at it through, it's got to be one or the other. And if you hate Trump, that means you have to endorse Biden. But if you legitimately don't like Biden, you don't have to endorse Biden. You don't have to.
I even hear people say, like, my next door neighbor could do better than Trump and stuff like that. It's just so full, Trump TDS.
It's bad. It's bad. Let's watch The View for a minute, shall we? This is Bill Maher's appearance on The View, begging people to buy his book.
You're a comic, but you basically go after Trump and Biden, both of them. And a lot of people are not happy with you about that. I'm
not equally.
Well, not equally, because that Trump is more dangerous.
Of course. I mean, I don't think anybody was more out front on that danger than I was. I was talking about how he was never going to give up power long ago when everybody was laughing at me and said, you smoke too much pot. And I said, I smoke just the right amount of pot.
At least come up with some different lines.
I was using the term slow-moving coup before he was elected the first time.
That's right.
I said, this guy is never going to concede power. It's impossible to imagine him going, I lost.
Yeah, can't do it.
That's just not in his nature.
So, but I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel, not that I have so much power, and you have some more than I do, obviously, but
I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might, influence people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility. I do. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say, but I'm saying what I really think is true.
Right.
That's.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And look, Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
Well, here's what I said. Like, when I came back after the strike in September, I said, he should get out. Because he's just lost the faith of people. It's not fair. He's actually done a pretty good job. Yeah. But I said he's going to be Ruth Bader Biden. That's the term I used. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She stayed too long at the fair. Yeah. I remember Obama had her over to the White House, like in 2013, to hint, hey, spend more time with the grandkids. That would not be a good idea, Ruth. And she didn't take the...
This is actually a good point, and it makes me wonder. This is a discussion you've heard us have over and over. in the sense of, and it's not just us, it's everybody, and they're saying, is Biden going to even be the nominee? I've seen a lot of people with extreme confidence speak out and say, well, they're going to replace him. They're going to replace him with Gavin Newsom. And in my mind, they're running out of time. Like, there's not much time left on the clock.
My opinion is they're going to do this debate thing, and that's Biden's shot to either be the nominee or not. And if he fails at this debate thing, I personally think we're going to see Michelle Obama, who's been saying, oh, I'm not doing it. I think when the DNC or whatever they're doing, I think when the time comes, she might say, oh, I'm doing it for the country and change her mind all of a sudden. That's my opinion.
Well, we know the DNC will do some of the dirtiest tricks to put the person in there they want. I was listening to Leland earlier, and a thought came to mind that if they did do it, again, for me, I feel like it's too late for them, but maybe I'm wrong. If they did do it, hypothetically, they could swap him out somehow, because Joe Biden's in there for ego at this point. He thinks very highly of himself. It's my word as a Biden. If they are to swap him out, they are able to not only hit the Trump side at the last minute and give them very little time to get to fire back and trash these people as you would politically, but they would be able to say, let's just say it's Gavin Newsom. They would be able to say, well, I know things are bad in this country, but Gavin Newsom didn't do all that. That was Joe Biden. Gavin Newsom is fine. Michelle Obama is fine. Michelle Obama didn't put this. Yeah, the country is in bad shape. Prices are way too high. But that was Joe Biden. That's not Michelle Obama. And go forward like that. They essentially get a clean slate of a candidate that no longer has to answer for the economy, the world wars, and everything else.
Well, I think they're setting it up, and I think that's why the debate's happening much sooner this year than normal. Normally it's, October, September maybe?
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of setting this up so that way they have enough time to put in who they want. And I personally think Michelle Obama's their best chance. If I were them, that's what I would try to do.
It's going to be
interesting. If you're going to be you got to think like a globalist to anticipate their next moves.
Plus, they always want to do first, and we would have our first transgender president. That would be big.
Allegedly.
I didn't say that, YouTube. God, man, I wasn't supposed to say that word. Hey, let's go back to The View, shall we? They had another guest on, and it was related kind of the same thing. Charlemagne the God. I played this on the radio show. Everybody knows him as a, what did I say? Is he an artist or no? He hosts The Breakfast Club, which is a huge morning show that's listened to by millions of people. He's the guy, if you remember, was interviewing Joe Biden in 2020 when he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, Bubba, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he endorsed Joe Biden in 2020 despite those comments, which were incredibly racist. But now, this time around, he feels like a lot of people do, in the sense of the economy, the country is in the toilet, and even though he hates Trump and he's got all these cockamamie beliefs that Donald Trump's a danger to democracy, he refuses to endorse Joe Biden. And the women of The View, especially Sunny Hostin, cannot wrap her mind around the fact that this man, this black man, won't endorse Joe Biden. Because, again, the mentality for people like this on The View is that you got to vote based on the color of your skin, which is incredibly racist in itself. But anyway, I want you to watch her demeanor as she questions this guy as to why he won't endorse Joe Biden.
As opposed to what the actual, facts are.
Yeah. Data shows. Well, since this book is all about having real conversations, let's get to it. Mm-hmm. Let's get real. Now, you have a massive platform reaching millions of listeners, and you and I have talked about this before. You endorsed Joe Biden back in 2020, but this time around, you say you're not going to endorse anybody. Charlemagne, now is not the time, in my opinion, to sit this one out.
Yeah. I didn't say that. I never said I was sitting it out.
What you gonna do?
I'm definitely voting in November, but what I like to focus on is issues, not individuals. Like, when
but why not endorse?
Huh?
Why not endorse Biden?
Because if I'm sitting here telling my listeners that, you have somebody out there who is a threat to democracy, you have somebody out there who said they want to, suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. You saw this person, try to lead an attempted coup of this country, and I'm telling people that this guy is a threat to democracy. Have you ever read Project 25? There's only 2 candidates out there. So if I'm saying that about this individual, the choice is clear, right? And I've seen y'all do this on The View before. I saw y'all do this to Killer Mike when he was on The View, and Killer Mike literally sat here and said, hey, I supported Keisha Lance Bottoms. I supported Ralph Warnock. I supported John Ossoff, right, in Georgia. And he said, you should support the people that I've supported. You should support the person who the people I've supported are supporting.
Okay.
That's y'all opportunity to say, well, clearly he's talking about President Biden. Why do y'all need us to say this if we don't feel comfortable saying it?
No, it's not that we need you to say it, but I think other folks need to hear, because, one of the things I'm sorry, I just jumped you, I'm sorry, but one of the things that we've been talking about is the fact that getting facts out through the media seems to be very difficult.
I feel like I just spewed some facts.
Yeah.
Yes, but we need you to do it on your show.
Well, the reality is I think both candidates are trash. So but I am going to vote in November, and I'm going to vote my best interest, and I'm going to vote who I think, can preserve democracy. So if I think both candidates are trash and I don't feel like, endorsing one, would you rather me endorse an individual or endorse the fact that, hey, we need to go out here and protect democracy?
And by the way, I think it's incredibly powerful to
protect democracy. What is democracy? Do any of these people know? No, it's a trigger word that was created by the Democrats to use for their... There's a reason. So we're not a democracy, we're a republic. There's a reason they use democracy and not say Donald Trump's a threat to the republic, because republic sounds like Republican, and Republican can't be a good thing. So it's got to be the democracy version.
Right. And even Trump said at one point, when did the Democrat Party turn into the Democratic Party? And also the globalists use the term our democracy all the time. They're just talking about their own form of what they think the government should be versus a constitutional republic.
That's where they've got an advantage, is because the people that are sticking up for them and talking about threats to democracy don't understand the definition of democracy. So when they do take over and they allegedly eliminate those threats to democracy, they then have the ability to define democracy for those people that have been out there parroting the threat to our democracy gimmick.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Their democracy has lots of people pooping on streets in certain cities,
yes,
and government handouts to where nobody wants to do anything and everybody's on all kinds of drugs.
It's called defamocracy. Defecacy.
Yeah, we gotta watch what we say.
That's right. Crap. Yeah. So tired of playing by the rules. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Bill Maher. Let's go back to Bill Maher. He was on, what was another show he did?
Megyn.
Megyn Kelly. So on the Megyn Kelly show, which I don't know a whole lot about. I mean, obviously I know who Megyn Kelly is. But Megyn Kelly is... Remember all the beef she had with Donald Trump? And, she was the one that asked the famous question of, you've called women slobs and fat pigs. And totally Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah. This is classic. Trump and Megyn Kelly had a little bit of a tumultuous relationship, but I think they've cleaned it up. Megyn Kelly, I do believe, is a conservative. Megyn Kelly, I do believe, will be voting for Trump in November. And she, for the most part, is on the right side of issues as of late, which would be the opposite of Bill Maher. She is the type of person, and I haven't watched this in its entirety, but she's the type of person that when Bill Maher comes out and talks about these different hoaxes in the sense of conceding and trying to overthrow an election and all this other stuff, she'll call them out. So I'm hoping that's what happens here. But here's Bill Maher's appearance on Megyn Kelly.
I don't know what could possibly be more fundamental to you or anyone than you have to concede elections. And he hasn't conceded the last one. He's plainly not going to concede this one. He now has all of his sycophants around him parroting his party line, which is when they ask them, will you abide by the election results? Yes, if it's a free and fair election, which is another way of saying if we win. You really think this is a place this country should be?
I'm not going to defend the election denialism. I'm not one of those people who
But
believes
what's more
that.
important? What kind of country do we have?
How about my daughter not going into a locker room and seeing a man's penis?
That's important too. I'm talking about the difference between this and something fundamental, which is our democracy. The fact that you have to respect who wins an election, or else you don't have the kind of country we've always had before.
How about...
I mean, I feel like we keep going around the Roseberry bush about this, and we're not going to make any progress, so let's stop talking about it. But,
I mean, you keep saying sort of I'm nuts because I don't see the difference between the elephant and the mouse, and I'm telling you I identify them differently than you do. Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
Okay. I mean, you only get two choices.
That's right.
You get Donald Trump, a criminal election denier who is going to transform this country into an authoritarian place like we've never seen before. Or you get Joe Biden with all his flaws.
Also
and
a criminal.
problems. Yep. Okay. What is his crime again?
The special counsel Robert Hur said he'd committed felonies, but he wouldn't indict him because he was a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. He couldn't get a conviction in front of a jury.
True.
And what was that crime? That was the
classified documents all over his basement, his garage, everywhere.
Well, okay. Here's the difference. Immediately, Biden, he shouldn't have had them. Immediately, he said, "Oh, sorry, my bad," and gave them back.
That's why he
Trump
didn't get
said,
charged with obstruction. But Trump has two classified documents, pieces to his case. One is you had them, and the second is you obstructed justice when we demanded them back. So, okay, against Biden, you don't get charged with obstruction. But number one, where's the classified documents charged against him? He's also a felon.
You got your story. Look.
Okay, I'm embarrassed for Bill Maher at this point.
Wow, he got owned.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that savage. Ooh,
I got to tell you,
bad.
Megyn Kelly, ever since she got independent and off of Fox, she's brought the heat more.
I feel the same way. I feel like she's really amping it up. Do me a favor. I emailed you a tweet. I have got, and I keep this on me all the time, 10 straight minutes of not just Hillary Clinton, but Democrats across the board denying the results of an election. As Megyn Kelly talked about, Hillary Clinton saying that Donald Trump is an illegitimate president. She's 100% right. And you see what Bill Maher said. Bill Maher said, no, she didn't. She didn't say that. Well, Bill, let's present to you all the examples of Hillary and every other Democrat you could think of denying the election.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
Yeah.
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
Whoa.
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016.
Whoa.
He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
I have an objection.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object because people are horrified.
He's an illegitimate president.
Pause it. Did you guys see what was happening there? They were trying to do alternate electors. They were trying to deny the electoral votes for Donald Trump in 2016. Does that sound familiar? Did they not just arrest Rudy Giuliani and Christina Bobb and charge Jenna Ellis and others in Arizona?
This is total clown world, man.
It's crazy.
It almost looks like it's an intentional, like, gaslighting, whatever you want to call it, like, just to get everybody, this is just unbelievable.
Well, when Megyn Kelly says that the Democrats are the original election denier, she's not lying. Let's keep going with this because there's plenty of it. I mean, it is never ending. It's so good.
What I believe is that there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by the Russian interference.
There absolutely is a cloud of illegitimacy.
So that legitimacy is in question, yes.
So that was a very tainted election, and in that sense, it's illegitimate.
Why do you think the president is going to such great lengths to essentially prove that he beat you?
Because he knows he didn't. He knows he's an illegitimate president.
Stolen emails, stolen election. Welcome to the world of unprecedented Trump.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract.
In the Russian attempt to have the election, and frankly, the FBI is weighing in on the election, I think makes his election illegitimate.
There was a widespread
what a picture.
Understanding that this election was not on the level. We still don't know
Almost
what really happened.
lizard-like.
I mean, there's just a lot that I think will be revealed. History will discover. But you don't win
Looks
by
like
3
the
million
bird.
votes
Yeah, it does.
and have all this other shenanigan stuff going on and not come away with an idea like, whoa, something's not right here.
The outcome of the election was affected by their interference, and now we need to know, to what degree, if any, the Trump campaign was actually in collusion with with Russia.
He knows he's an illegitimate president. So of course he's obsessed with me. And I believe that it's a guilty conscience.
All right, so pause it there. Is this not amazing that Bill Maher was like, she never said that? And then I'm not going to keep going with it because we're going to run out of time, but I've got clips of the 2000 presidential race with George Bush, of them doing the same thing, 2004, different midterms where Republicans won the majority. Over and over and over again, they denied the election. They said the voting machines were hacked or tampered with, or they're not, all the things that'll get you arrested today. That's what they're saying.
It's just, it baffles me that they did all of that, and it seems like everybody just forgot it. It almost seems like all these people are in the same club, maybe a 3-letter club that we can't, it just like see something.
Yes, I know it. I'm picking up what you're dropping, Tony Gump.
They get the same memo every morning, and that's why they always have the same talking points.
That's it. They're all reading from the same script. I wonder what the script is going to be after, because we're about to have a rally with Donald Trump in the Bronx. And for those of you watching this, you may be the rally may have already happened, and if so, that's okay. But what is the script going to be for these people if Donald Trump has this rally and it is successful and a lot of people show up? Because I have no prediction, really. I think he'll have a ton of supporters show up, but what does it actually look like? Nobody's gone to the Bronx as a Republican since Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. He'll have lots of support, but he'll probably have lots of security.
There was Newsmax was actually out there today or a couple days ago talking to the people of the Bronx. And this is what they were saying. I want you to watch this because this is the mood in that part of the world, in that part of New York City.
Everybody's struggling. People are getting desperate, too. That brings the crime up. When you get poverty and you get a bunch of people that come here that get actually more benefits than the people that been here, then what?
This is real America. This right here, people are paying 30, 40% more. We were just going to buy Windex to clean the windshield. Everything is expensive. Everybody is hurting. People need to see that their leader cares about them. And Donald Trump does care about them. And that's why he's coming here.
Why do you want to see Donald Trump tomorrow?
But Donald Trump is the man. Everybody want to see Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is the man.
Yeah, baby. Donald Trump is the man. That's what they're saying. And this is not new, by the way. And this is something that I hammer all the time on the show, and I'm like, the reason the tide is turning is it's the economy, stupid. It's the economy. It's something that everybody's affected by. And if people can't make ends meet, if people can't get paycheck to paycheck, they want to change, especially if they're just fresh off the heels of making it paycheck to paycheck, which was the Trump years. Everything was fine. Some people have this twisted view of things were good during COVID because they didn't have to work and they were getting a check that was bigger than what they were making at work. But nonetheless, people have that memory of, I was doing all right just a few years ago before Joe Biden came in here. And they're tying that to Trump.
Yeah, I get the economy, and I also get how there was no wars going around. Nobody was going to work, and I think they were scared of Trump.
Mm-hmm. There was a bunch of stability. Here's a video of Newsmax in the Bronx. This was months ago. Now remember this. This is before the trial started. This is, or at least the trials in New York City. This is just, hey, we're out here. We're going to get the feel of those in the South Bronx. This is what they said.
If President Trump came here to the South Bronx, would you attend the rally?
Of course. I would want to meet Trump. I want to shake his hand. He's the only president that I see that can ever make America great again. He's capable of doing that.
I would love to go to a rally with Donald Trump come. Because I'm a big Donald Trump supporter. And I would support him 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely we're going to show him love. We're going to show him a lot of love. And, like they do in other states. We definitely need to see Trump here.
There's nothing but love for Donald Trump here in the South Bronx, the North Bronx, the East Bronx, and the West Bronx.
So, you tell me...
We want Trump to come back. Please, bro. Biden, get out of here, bro.
I would come to the rally and support Trump. Because the Bronx need a change, and we need somebody that's really going to help this community.
I would definitely come to a Trump rally in the South Bronx. I like him.
You do?
Yes.
Yes, I will come to a rally if President Trump was to come to the Bronx, and I also would bring other people to come too and support him.
Would Joe Biden get a warm reception if he came to the Bronx?
No, he wouldn't have. And I'll make sure of that.
Oh, so good. This is it, man. There's the temperature in the country is heavy on Trump. Man, I know, and for people like yourself, Tony, that listen to my show every day, I feel like, and this is just me in my own head, I feel like I repeat myself on a lot of fronts, but it's kind of my job to take the temperature of the political climate. And it has been heavy in Trump's favor for weeks and weeks now. I mean, I would dare say months. People have been looking at Donald Trump and saying, man, he wasn't really that bad.
I mean, it seems that way, but also 4 years ago, we'd see tens of thousands of people show up to see Trump, and then Biden would just have, be in his basement or have 24 people show up and half were press.
He was in New Hampshire this week, and, 20 people there. And they don't even do it like rally style. They have tables set up with 5 or 6 seats around the table. Anyway, it's obvious what's going on there. We don't have to tell you. I do need to tackle this real quick. This is something you and I have been talking about. Oh, yeah. It is a video, and we don't have any information on this outside of what we're seeing in this video. So let me explain. This guy made a TikTok. And he claimed that he had this, it was like a cluster of insects. He could hear buzzing above his head.
Yeah.
And he said all of a sudden one of these alleged insects hits like a power pole or something and drops to the ground. So he goes over there to see what it is. And it is some sort of electronic device.
Yeah, and I had heard about this type of thing, but it was birds and other things, and it was like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, why wouldn't they be doing stuff like this?
It's fascinating. Yeah, let's watch this, because this is crazy. He'll actually show it on video and show how it works.
What's up, TikTokers outside a while ago? I got my dog throwing his stick. We heard a bunch of coming across the street. I figured it was a bunch of locusts or bugs. I don't know, June bugs or something. They flew over our head probably 7-8 feet. One of them hit the pole, and you could hear it on the ground. I thought it was one of those katydid things. But you tell me, why in the hell would this shit right here be flying around?
What is that?
Somebody please explain to me.
Yeah.
What the hell that is. And
get ready for a loud noise.
As I was picking it up, if you squeeze that on the end on each end.
Don't do it. Oh, God.
Yeah. Trying to turn it down.
Then it's going to do it one time, then I guess it shuts it off.
I was afraid it was going to blow up.
So somebody, for the love of God, please tell me what that is.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And now you broke it. Now it won't stop beeping. Huh. So, I mean, I guess you could say that it's, okay, so here's an example. I saw a video the other day, and I think the guy's name is like Matt Wallace or something, and he's in the business of, on Twitter, posting these scandalous things and alluding to he's about to expose something. And there's never really a lot to it. Like, he's not really saying anything people in the know don't know already. He had a video of some guy, random guy on the beach, coming up on a couple of guys that were holding laptops, and there was on the shore what seemed to look like a missile, pretty large missile that was maybe 6 to 10 feet long. And he walks up to him. He's like, "What's up, guys?" And they're like, "Please don't record this." And he's like, "Why? It's a public beach." He's like, if you're recording this and I got to go back to my boss and explain somebody recorded us, doing that. And so he came off as kind of suspicious. But when you look into it, it was some sort of, research thing where they put it off in the water and they research, ocean floor or whatever, a submarine type of thing. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering if maybe this is some sort of, science, a company that's doing some sort of new project to test these out, which, if it's nefarious, the government will get its hands on it and use it for evil. But could it be that? Could it be somebody that's not the government? Or do you think this is government related?
I mean, it's really hard to tell. All that little piece of machinery looked very sophisticated, and I know they've been trying stuff like this for a long time, and it just happens to be that point in time where all these cicadas are coming over, so it's real easy to hide it,
Ooh, that's a good point. And imagine one of these things dinging you in the head, too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, if it was a company and they were doing it on their own, like a regular public or private company, they would have been coming to get that thing afterwards.
Yeah.
They would have been after it.
That's money. That's money, cousin. Give me my high-tech bug back. I remember I've watched a lot of a series called Black Mirror, and it's fascinating. You watch that?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Where they have the little drones, and it can just fire a bullet into somebody's head and just kill them.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, and I mean, they got dogs with freaking flamethrowers on them, robotic.
Yes.
Surely they can be doing this type of stuff.
Oh, God, we're screwed. We're so screwed. Oh, my God.
I mean, the saying is you won't even be able to hide in the ground eventually,
Well, I mean, it's going to get to the point where it's like, what's more dangerous? Going outside and getting attacked by government drones, or going to CVS and, getting beat up or robbed or whatever, because it's not even safe to be on the streets anymore.
Yeah, I just, the answer to 1984 is 1776. That's
no, like that little math problem right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a tattoo of that. Yeah. You were telling me earlier about a video of Benny Johnson?
Yeah, Benny Johnson.
Benny Johnson was doing a YouTube video. He ended up in a Target.
Yeah, he went to Target in San Francisco.
Okay.
And he ended up watching somebody trying to steal something as he was walking in. And this is right after he got his car broke into when he was doing a video at the In-N-Out Burger, same area. Well, right across Oakland,
Yeah, you got to get out of San Fran, buddy. When you first brought this up to me, I thought you said Benny Thompson.
No.
The
I know you're talking about.
The black guy from the January 6th committee. Well, I was in a Target and somebody started stealing right in front of me, broke in my car. So Benny Johnson, excuse me. This is him at Target, and he's just, what is he? He's just out there kind of showing the state of San Francisco, I guess.
Yeah, I skipped a little bit of it. He's kind of giving the whole overview before he starts, but this is when he's getting ready to walk in the shop.
Okay. So let's check this out.
Your Target most likely doesn't have shattered glass and boarded up doors when you walk in, along with the robbery we witnessed the second we entered the building.
So the first thing to note is that your Target probably doesn't have like a guy that looks.
Oh, he's stealing!
That guy just got caught by armed security. Looks like special forces.
And they still had to let him go.
Out of the Target.
Wow.
First thing you see when you walk in. Special forces at your Target.
So just so we don't get hit, he starts walking around, and you'll see everything's encased here.
Lock up.
Wow.
Plastic boxes, literally every item.
And how much does that cost the company?
Shopping area, you notice that everything, I mean everything,
Probably
is
not as much
locked
as if they left it all out.
inside of little plastic containers that would be very, very hard to steal.
How about this? What is this? Everything.
You literally got to get your own person from Target to walk with you and grab everything.
Face masks are locked up. Use help button for assistance. This is what a zero trust society looks like.
To buy something at this store, you basically need a personal shopper, as everything is either behind glass or has a tag attached to it that alarms if you move the item. Yeah, everything from underwear to chapstick to lotion has a security tag and box.
That you like? You like being able to shave? Dudes? Being able to grab a razor? $3 chapstick. Behind glass. Don't ask me what's so valuable about laundry detergent, but here in Target, they're all behind glass. And you gotta push this button if you want to get your clothes clean. Need to get your baby formula fast? Hungry baby? Locked up. Need a pair of pants? You're gonna need to call somebody because everything has been locked up. Every pair of pants. Everything.
This is crazy. That is wild. You think about that. It's like, think about, and you as a business owner, think about what it costs the company to do that. Not just in the tags and the cases, but the extra manpower you then need to hire to make sure every shopper has got an employee available.
Well, I guarantee you they crashed the numbers and found out that this was a more cost-effective approach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and sadly, if you keep watching the video, the things that doesn't have a tag on it or an alarm thing, certain reading material that's been controversial at Target, there's nothing on those.
What's the reading
the
material?
LGBTQ
stuff. And that's not locked up?
No, it's not locked up, but for some reason it's still there. Nobody's stealing that.
Interesting.
And there was also Sonic the Hedgehog stuffed animal and like Nintendo type Mario Brothers stuff.
But very few things that are not locked up.
Oh yeah, it's so unbelievably. It's like watching a fiction movie of the future. I don't know.
That is kind of sci-fi-esque. Man, what in the world? What kind of clown world do we live in, man?
Oh yeah. Oh, and here's this is like afterwards. People sell the stuff they steal out in the streets right outside the Target, and there's nothing people can do about it.
That's crazy. Yeah, back that up. Let's watch that for a minute. That's because that's something that absolutely goes on. They steal and then they go sell it at a discount to the street vendors, and then the street vendors then essentially outbid the stores, and you just buy it on the street instead of going to Target.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shopping on the street if I was poor, kind of thing. But wow.
Crazy. Crazy. I couldn't imagine living in a place like that. Yeah. If you live out there and you're not abandoning that place. Or and what sucks for people is the fact that it's impossible to sell and move, because granted, if you've got property, your property's probably pretty valuable right now, but where are you going to go?
And some of these people actually think that the taxes aren't high enough. They need to tax more so they can have all these things. And I ask them, I'm like, at what point is it too much? 100% tax equals slavery.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
That's where it's going. And guess what? You will owe nothing, and you will be happy. Speaking of, did you see Klaus Schwab today?
Oh no,
stepping down as the chairman of the WEF.
I did. I missed that part.
Oh, dude, it's actually pull up our normal website, and it should be. You may just have to search it, but it was up there, maybe on page 2 or 3. I saw it this morning, and I actually had it on the slate to bring up during the show, but I didn't get to it, and I'm not 100% sure what the backstory behind it is, but he sure did. You'll see his. Yeah, just keep going. You'll see his picture eventually. He stepped down, which kind of concerns me.
Here we go.
It's I guess we can read this and see what the backstory is. Let's say in an email to WEF staff member, Schwab announced that he would be officially stepping down as the executive chairman and transitioning to a non-executive chairman. He has not announced his successor yet, but noted that over the last year, the WEF executive board, under the leadership of President Bjorg Brunde, has taken full executive responsibility.
Huh.
And he's the founder of the WEF. I wonder what. Here's my first thought is, okay, what are you trying to do here? Because this guy has zero good intentions.
I have a feeling he can't go anywhere in public. He was caught in D.C. at like a train station or something, and he had to leave, and they had to get security. So I'm sure he isn't giving up any of his power. He's just putting somebody, in front of the cameras from now on,
like a figurehead.
Yeah, kind of like, say Biden or whatever.
Yeah, puppet. He's Klaus Schwab's taking his hand and putting it up somebody's rear end.
You will eat the bugs.
You will take my fist. I didn't mean to say that. I think we got to get out of here now that I'm being completely inappropriate. A lot of stuff coming up. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. I encourage you guys to make sure you subscribe. If you have not done it, we've got a lot of new people visiting the page. We are watching the stats, the what do we call them? The analytics. That's what I'm thinking of. The analytics are looking good. We appreciate you guys. If you like what we do, let us know. Make sure you comment, like. If you don't like what we do, you can say that too. I frankly don't care. But we'll be back with new stuff. Tony Gump, you want to leave us with any final words?
Sure. It's a crazy world out there, but keep getting your sunlight, water, your meat, and your sleep. And don't forget Jawbone Jam, June 21st.
And John Bird, any final words?
Hi.
That'll work. I'm out of here. Until next time, circus!